So for the next couple of videos, I'm doing a series called My Story. It's about my financial story. Make sure you subscribe so that you get every single episode, saving money, spending money, credit cards. I'm gonna talk about it all. Fast forward to high school, and I finally got my first job. I remember I worked babysitting like when I was maybe 14 or 15, but like my first real job was working at McDonald's when I was 15 years old. I was not allowed to touch the fryer. And I remember I had to leave work by 7 o'clock on weekdays. There was certain stipulations because I was only 15. And I was so excited to be getting a paycheck, but I took that paycheck and I went straight to the mall and gave it right away. I remember I really wanted designer clothing. I had to buy my own clothing anyway once I got my job. Because my sister was older than me, I was always getting her clothing handed down to me. And I never really had, anything new of my own. Every now and then I would, but most of the time, it was just, I would get whatever my sister was done wearing and when I grew into it. So I remember when I first got my job, that was one thing that I really wanted. I really wanted to, have my own style and buy my own clothes. I bought a couple of like regular pieces, but I always wanted to go to the mall, and I remember I would go to the department stores to shop, and I bought FUBU clothing, and I also bought Baby Phat. That was really popular at the time. So Baby Phat clothing and FUBU clothing. And I remember being so excited to have a t-shirt with the little cat on the front, as well as I finally bought one of those I had a big blue puffy coat that cost me maybe close to $100 or $200. And I remember saving up to buy that. I didn't do too well with my money. I didn't really have a budget. The only time that I actually budgeted was when I had to think about like my senior year, all the expenses that I was going to have. Paying for your senior portraits, and not only that, but senior prom, applications for college, and all of those things that you pay for as a high school senior. I remember kind of budgeting for that. But as far as other budgets, once those items were taken care of, I just continued to spend my money. So after all of those years, I really had nothing to show. For all of those years that I worked and got paychecks every 2 weeks, I had no savings. I had nothing really to show at all. It's really sad because that could have been a great learning opportunity for me, a great opportunity for me to save instead of doing what I did, which was spend all my money. So regardless, I made it through high school. I graduated from high school and I headed directly into college, just like I was supposed to do. So now I'm in college. I don't have a job yet. I started just wanting to do full-time school. So I wanted to be a full-time student. I took the number of credit hours I needed. I had scholarships. I had the Georgia Hope Scholarship, which paid for all of my classes, plus gave me a stipend for books. I had also gotten some scholarships from my high school. I didn't have a need for any extra money, but I definitely wanted that extra money. I didn't just want to go to class and come home, and I lived on campus, but I didn't just want to go to class and come back to my dorm and just relax. Like I wanted to be able to go out and do stuff and go to parties and dress up and buy clothing. So you can kind of see where my addiction is coming in. I definitely had a addiction to shopping. I really enjoyed purchasing clothing. So I decided to get my first credit card at the age of 18. I was on campus and I walked by a booth where there were tons of t-shirts stacked up, and I was just kind of looking like, what's going on here? And the lady came up to me, she was like, we're doing a promotion today. You get a free shirt. All you have to do is sign up for a credit card. And I was like, sure, why not? Yes, ma'am, just sign on the dotted line right here. Okay. Wow, free shirt. Who's gonna give me a credit card? I have no income, and all I have to do is write my information down and I'll get a free shirt. And if I do get a credit card, I'll just cut it up and throw it away. So I got my shirt. It was really cool. It had little jokes about college on the back of it, like what makes a college student a college student. And so I thought it was neat. I slept in it. I was like, yeah, free shirt. A couple of weeks later, credit card arrives in the mail. At first I was gonna just cut it up and throw it away, but then I thought, I might be able to use this. So I did. I started using the credit card, and I made a vow to pay the credit card off in full each month. When I applied for the credit card, I had to put down a source of income, and my parents were sending me a little bit of money each month. It wasn't a lot, like maybe $50. So I put the $50 on there as income. And so I had a low credit line. I think my first credit line was like $750. So I decided to get a job so that I could pay off my credit card. Now you're thinking, so backwards. But I got a job and I was working at a daycare, really enjoyed doing it. I would go to school. I didn't have a car. So after my classes, I would walk to the daycare, and after finishing from the daycare, I would walk back to my dorm. Really simple life, really no need for anything extra, but on the weekends, I didn't have an activity, I didn't have anything going on. There were no classes, and I lived so far away from home that I wasn't going home on the weekends. I pretty much took the credit card, and that was my source of entertainment. I went to the movies, I took out cash anytime I needed cash. I was shopping. Let's go to the mall, everybody. Spend almost all day at the mall looking for clothing and just buying stuff. So that first credit card led me into the downward spiral of my $22,000 of credit card debt. There was a point where I had that debt, plus I had the car, which I'll come to in a little bit, but it took me a while to pay that off. I've got a video where I talk about how I paid off my credit card debt if you want to jump over there and get the quick scoop, but I'll talk about that also in this video if you just want to keep watching. So now this is the part of the story where we come to the real world. I finally graduate college. Graduated from college, and I was so excited to jump into the real world and start making some real money.